Hey guys, welcome to House 317. I'm your permanent host, Rodney, joined by permanent roommates, Josh. He's back!
So good to be back. Oh my God.
I'm glad
I've missed y'all so much.
The trio is back. And Brandon. Brandon's here too. So we have all three of us back here to discuss the first episode of Loki. Guys, that is a lot.
Yeah,
that was a lot.
I know I say a lot, but that was a lot. Very excited. So how are you guys feeling about the show? First show in a while that we've had to unpack. It's been a lot of trailer reactions that we've done here lately. We had a little bit of a lull in episodes, but now we get Loki. It is amazing.
I'm so happy. That's the best way to put it, is that I am so happy. It's already setting itself up to be the perfect blend between WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier, where you get that mix of action, but also the wonder factor and like, what the heck does all this mean?
Right. There's a lot of curiosity in the whole episode.
Yes.
I like it. Josh, what are you feeling?
Like I was telling y'all earlier, I already feel like this is going to be my favorite of the three series that we have so far. Like you were saying, it has a good blend. You can tell the action will pick up. You kind of got a little bit of that, but yeah, I'm excited.
You guys have your tickets?
Come on,
ticket.
Thanks for visiting the TVA. Don't hesitate to let us know how we're doing.
Speaking of that, so I guess we can just
jump right in.
So let's do it.
I want to bring up the cartoon that was showing while you're in line by Miss Minutes,
right?
Which Tara Strong, by the way, I don't know if you know who Tara Strong is.
No
she does a lot of voiceover work with like Teen Titans.
That's right.
She's awesome.
Hi, I'm Tara. You do my voice? You don't sound like me. I'm versatile.
I used to do this voice a lot. Yeah, I wish you'd seen it.
And Pretty Pegasus. Whoa.
She showed up again as a Southern Belle type Miss Minutes. I thought that was good. But the Peabody type Jetsonsville cartoon, which I thought was awesome. I'm wondering if that little cartoon basically like laid the groundwork of what this show is going to be, because it shows 5 variants, which I don't know if we're going to actually get 5 variants. We know we're going to get Lady Loki.
Right.
She's a variant. The Loki that we know is a variant.
Right.
So I'm wondering if there's going to be, and you talked about the guy in line, which I think his name was Martin. Was he a variant of Loki? He looked very similar. Because if you look in the cartoon, they didn't all look the same. They all had the same, I don't know if it was a hat or a tattoo or like a tie. I can't remember what it was. They all had one distinctive trademark, but they were different shapes and sizes, and I guess genders when it comes to Lady Loki. So I'm wondering if we go back and look at that cartoon, is that basically the plot line of the show?
Let's clear something up really quick. Timekeepers, good or bad?
I think there's some bad there.
Yeah, I don't think that
it's a gray area. Everything's a gray area. I mean, obviously we're going the direction of Kang. It's been confirmed. There's already an actor confirmed to play Kang in Ant-Man, which Ant-Man's like,
I think it's like 2 years down the road.
2 years.
It's a little further. Yeah.
Which is crazy that we're going to be getting Kang at least introduced, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah. I think that would be a fail if he didn't make some kind of appearance.
So in the comics, he led the Time Variant Authority, right? At one point.
Well, there were multiple.
Right. Yeah, but he was a part of it.
Yeah.
Right.
So in what we're going to get, do you feel like he is going to be on that leader side of them or that opposition side of them? Because right now, to me, I felt like it would be a more interesting story if the Time Variant Authority was the evil that Mobius and Loki are trying to kind of circumvent. Because Mobius, and you and I talked about this a little earlier, Mobius felt like he was against the system. Like he was not necessarily all on top, all for the system. He always tried to find an angle that he can work.
Yeah.
And so that was interesting to me that I thought as we were going into this, that the Time Variant Authority was someone that created order. And they explained that a little bit. And someone that was, as a thing that was creating order, was on the side of good. But as we were watching the show, that was kind of up for question, and even the explanation. Like, did the explanation not seem off to you? So when we look at comics as a whole, from the cartoon, so when we look at comics as a whole, we've gotten different versions of our favorite superhero. There has been different versions, and we've never really had an instance where we've reset them to make them feel like the same Peter Parker in every universe, which is what they're doing, right?
I don't know. It's interesting.
It's just
with Spider-Man coming up and the whole variant thing, like, is interesting. Oh man, I don't know. I think it's too early.
It's definitely too early. Just
obviously
yet,
into the show. There's only been one episode, but yeah, I don't know. It
felt off. It felt like what they were trying to do was against choice and against it was taken away.
Yeah, so I want yes and no, because she does bring up the fact that, Loki tries to put blame on the Avengers for time traveling, which is crazy that he's so slick. That that Loki even was like, they were time traveling, like just because he said he smelt Tony Stark's cologne twice, and that's why he.
That's interesting. You caught that because
is that Axe body spray?
Yeah, I had a Canada Dish for emergencies, Rex.
Caught that statement, and because that statement to me is exactly what you said, because Tony Stark was there in two different forms.
It's just crazy that he automatically was like, it's time travel. Like, they were time traveling.
Yes.
The fact that she pointed out saying that was supposed to happen. Like, so it is. God, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you leave it up to choice.
Right. Which then brings up a whole nother thing when it comes to, like, the Eternals, and everybody's asking, like, well, where have the Eternals been? Well, maybe they do something that...
Do they have
access to these people?
Yeah.
Well,
to know that that's what was supposed to happen, and therefore, by extension, that's why they didn't get involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that was something that I had a question on. I know, there's so much. So all the hieroglyphics, that's what I honed in on. Like, it was just like, you see all these different drawings and things, and you're like, I feel like I've seen that before. And you see a little bit of that in Strange, and you also see some of that in the Eternals trailer.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that there is a connection there of some level. But it'll be very interesting, because I think we'll get some of the answers that help set up that movie in terms of the why.
So let's talk about, like, favorite scenes. And so there was so much going on in this movie. A lot of that they had to unpack at the beginning. They had to let, for folks that hasn't maybe watched all the videos or movies and didn't really know, they kind of had to set the scene a little bit for Loki and Mobius and his association with the Time Variant Authority. And
exposition.
Yeah, just had to figure it out. But as we got into the middle / end of it, we started getting some real good character development on Loki's side, kind of unpacking what Mobius is all about. But in the middle of that, what are y'all's favorite scenes? We got to talk about, what's going on in this movie. But Josh, what's your favorite scene? Because there was a lot.
Man, my favorite scene is the scene where he comes back in from his little hijinks of running around the TVA and dealing with the clerk, which is great. But him being able to basically watch his life from where he is now to where it ends, and just the raw emotion you get from Tom Hiddleston, and by far out of WandaVision and Falcon, and just one episode. That was my favorite episode that I've seen in a while. Like he smashed it, like knocked it out of the park in his acting and just his emotions with seeing his mom die, but like him seeing Odin, like so in Ragnarok, you get that speech by Odin, and he calls Loki his son, and he has that moment of like relief when he says that, and then seeing himself watch it and hear Odin say it, like it was, I don't know. I loved it. I can't really. It
was almost like he had to unpack all the emotions that he already had in the future, but he had to do it in just such a short moment. But it was just a good reflection of just like, holy crap.
Yeah, because I love the fact that Loki became
who he was.
Anti-hero,
Yeah.
good guy, and being in a good relationship with Thor.
Mm-hmm.
So him being able to see that he's like, holy crap, we're actually...
Because that went through all three relationships, right?
Mhm.
It went through his father, his mother,
in a span of like a minute, 2 minutes tops. And just...
Which
also shows Tom's range, right? Because we had comedy in that episode too.
Yeah.
So we had some, and like the ticket scene to me was the most hilarious
And
scene
the robot.
ever. And the robot. And the robot.
What if I was a robot and I didn't know it?
So he went from comedy to that grief-stricken Loki, in a very short time. So it showed his range as an actor. What about you, B? Your favorite?
So I'm going to mention 2 soft ones.
Okay.
All right. Number 1, DB Cooper, and the fact that was something that we were anticipating would be part of his journey later on.
I thought it was going to be towards like middle episode.
Right.
With Thor.
Not a straight up bet with Thor, just like
and Heimdall. Yeah.
And the fact that he had to go do it. But the other one too was the whole Infinity Stone scene, and the fact that it's just like you get there and all of a sudden it's just like what the heck are these? And the fact that he's just like, oh yeah, some people use them as paperweights. And it's just like,
but was there a Mind Stone in there? Because I was trying to like pick them out. I don't think there was a Mind Stone in there.
I think
what people are most upset about is that there were multiple soul stones in there.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we remember what it takes to get a soul stone, each one of those means a death of someone, right? And so people are upset about that it kind of diminishes Black Widow's piece.
No.
I don't really see that. That's just part of the story.
Which I think will play into something that me and you talked about, which was I don't think that the timeline stays whole by the end of the series. I think it's the starting point of possibly.
I think it leads up to Strange, but also leading up to Fantastic Four and the Battle of Reed Richards as we set up for a secret invasion.
See, now you're just dreaming.
He's got a dream. He's got a dream.
Look,
I'm not dreaming.
We can have it.
With you. I'm with you.
If it's in the comics, it could totally happen, guys.
No,
if we have the Council of Reeds, I'm down.
You're talking like it's been confirmed or something. I mean, we can all hope and dream, but
right here. Well, Dr. Doom is still.
It's still a thing. Right, still a possibility.
I want him to be the ultimate bad guy. Bump Galactus. I know he's a big bad too, but I want Doom to be at the top.
Galactus.
He's a Celestial.
He is, but bump it. Doom's gonna wipe the face with everybody.
So favorite scenes, you're done, right?
Yeah, for right now.
So for me, so we go back to why we started doing YouTube altogether, right? So humanity. So Marvel does a great job of unpacking humanity with all of our heroes, anti-heroes, whatever they are. And so for Loki in this episode, it unpacked his humanity in that he verbalized that he puts on a front for everybody. That really, his strongness or his smartness as he, tries to work angles with language or work angles with how he can position himself into a better place with other folks is all about putting on a front because he feels weak internally. He feels broken internally.
Yeah.
And so unpack that whole scene where he finally admits to Mobius that is him that he's describing, not the Timevarian Authority. Like that to me, is my favorite scene because again it picks at his humanity, although throughout the episode he's talking about himself being a god. And then for him to not break down, but for him to realize that he is in essence a human, that humanization of him was my favorite part. I thought
it was interesting that they chose to, like when he was watching basically himself die by Thanos, I thought it was interesting they chose to include the audio of him telling Thanos that he'll never be a god. So I don't know if that was like a realization for him, like internally.
No, that's
it's just crazy that they would choose to kind of
include that. Yeah.
I never even thought about that in that scene in Infinity War where it really is. I mean, like he always claimed to be one, but he never really got to be one.
Yeah.
So he wasn't just talking to him; he was talking to himself.
Probably.
And that is an interesting point of view.
So let's talk about Morbius, because he's a character that's new. Morbius, not Morbius. What am I talking about? I want Spider-Man so bad. I'm talking about Spider-Man villains.
No, yes, you are.
Mobius without an R, guys. Let's make sure we say it right. Mobius. Moving forward. Mobius. So
not Morpheus either.
Not Morpheus. Not Mobius. Oh my. And so Mobius, he is a new character for us. He's the one that to me is the most interesting because again, he is not completely on board with everything the TVA's got to say. He's working his angle as he's trying to catch up with this variant that we believe is the variant for another Loki, Lady Loki. And so let's talk a little bit about that character and what you guys kind of feel like is going on with him.
I was pleasantly surprised. Like, I think he fits in perfectly.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I think his level of sarcasm rivals Loki's.
Yeah.
And that's what made that so...
was great.
Oh, yeah.
And then the time twister. And
So who is he chasing? Do we really think it's the...
Lady Loki.
Okay.
It's not
anybody else.
It's not Mephisto.
It's not. Let the record show that it is not Mephisto.
A Mephisto-like stained glass picture.
That's
probably
fair.
all you're gonna get.
That's it.
So
and for the record, the whole nightmare notion is not the same nightmare.
Oh, they did.
They did mention it.
Mobius.
For the record, Marvel cannot say nightmare without people thinking things. So
So can we put Mephisto to bed now, or are you still holding out?
I think he still plays a role in Wanda's world, in that part of the story, but not here.
We still have Blade, which is the only reason this is still an option, right? Because the Blade series all pulls on vampires, demons, etc. So sorry. So Mobius. B, what are your thoughts on him?
I'm really looking forward to seeing his character development. Again, I think
he dies episode 2.
Yeah, that would be horrible.
It would be funny. It would be funny.
That would be horrible. I would be so sad. I'd be like, you ruined it. You had a perfectly great character. Here's a random theory. What if Mobius himself is a Loki variant? Just think about it.
Did y'all catch that when Loki was being like in the paperwork that his sex said fluid?
Yeah.
That was funny. I was like, oh, Lady Loki. Lady Loki. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Now, let's talk about her for a second. So we only get a glimpse of her there at the end and just straight up pwns those guys. Sets them up and they're just thinking it's something completely different. All of a sudden, lighting people on fire.
So is she taking the reset? Like, how does that work? Like,
she's taking those things.
I know that's what. But
so what's she going to use them for? Is the question.
And how many times has she done it? Because at the church it happened, and then when Mobius was talking with Loki,
there was another one.
She came in and said,
"Like, is she gathering enough to reset the main timeline?"
That could be interesting.
Just to
again, I still think the whole timeline thing is completely messed up by the end. And I think that Loki and Mobius have a hand in that with her. I don't think she ends up being. I think he learns a little bit more of her angle, and they end up doing some kind of trio thing there. I'm not sure.
No. Like I said at the beginning, I don't think that Mobius and Lady Loki plus Loki that she's going to convince those two to kind of join her side and see her angle versus the Time Variant Authority, and what they have determined is what time should look like. Because even the judge lady, what's her name? The lady interest for, what's his name, Kang? And so even she said that, she is dictating time as the folks, the timekeepers, are dictating to her. So they're thinking, they're writing essentially what they feel like it should look like, and then tightening up the timeline to make it fit that way with decisions people are making. And so, that's not going to sit well with folks, right? And so to me, that's going to blow up in faces and And I don't know, they've been around for a very long time, so apparently it's worked up until this point. But with having Loki a part of it, to me, Loki and order are opposites, right? And so to involve Loki with something in order, that's just a recipe for blowing that mess up. And so no, I'm pretty pumped. Theories, guys.
I want to see Kang. I want that to happen. And I want an Eternals tie-in. That is, I think if you look at the hieroglyphics and some of the drawings there, all that starts to
What about the hieroglyphics on the
the
sword or whatever that thing was?
Yeah,
when
that
she lit the
too.
thing on fire. What was that? I don't.
Was
that
even
just
know.
something to distract them? Something to distract us because we look at freaking everything.
Mhm.
Like what was
that about?
Yeah,
I don't know.
because don't they have like some kind of device that dates things and didn't?
Well,
they say
yeah,
it was
because
from the
third millennia.
third millennia.
Yeah, so it was what is third millennia?
2000s to 3000.
to 3000. Yeah.
Well, it didn't look like anything from that era yet, unless it was off. Unless it was off Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So, but again, I call Eternals tie-in.
Okay.
That's where I'm at right now. I'm willing to put my
I
stake
like
in the ground.
Mobius saying that when you burn the place down, start at my desk. Like, what's in his desk? Like, now I just want to know. Like, for him to say something like that, when you burn the place down, you can start with my desk. I feel like that's going to come back somehow one way or another.
Oh, yeah.
If it all flows the way...
He also said he would help them burn down.
Oh, you almost had it. You got to be quicker than that.
The Nightmare team. So
Yeah, that's true. So I think eventually we'll walk into that department accidentally and let some things out as we're destroying the TVA. Just throwing it out there.
And also, just a quick little shout out for the hit to the face with the slow-mo stick.
oh my god.
As we all do it.
She was... That was great. That was
good.
All right, guys. Well, that's our review for episode 1. Please stay tuned for more episode reviews as we continue to watch the Loki series. It's going to be amazing. If you like what you're seeing or have any suggestions about what we should do moving forward, please leave them in the comment section of the video. Otherwise, hit that subscribe button so you can stay on top of the things that we are doing. Y'all take care of each other. Peace.
Peace.
Mobius? Not Morbius. What am I talking about?